for parking ticket?
In Wales.
No, I'm just going to show you what exempt goods are. That's commercial rents.
What's their bailiffs called? Can't pay, take it
Oh
away.
yeah, them assholes. I've dealt with them before.
Yeah, I've seen one of them out of that sheriff's to come in. Gave him the right away, didn't we? When he told him how to go away, and he did.
And what was his name?
Sorry.
He's the one that was a Marine.
Yeah, the one that was in the Marines.
Would that be Matt? The short, stocky one?
He was stocky, but he wasn't short.
No, it was. I was going to say he was taller than me, but everybody's taller
That
than
was
me.
for a house eviction.
Yeah, third party claim, applications, transfer.
Seriously, I thought they'd have taught you this at bailiff school.
I'm trying to show you.
I know the law.
I'm
Trust
trying
me.
to prove it to you.
We've been dealing with this long enough. I know the law. I don't need to know. I've already known it.
At the end of the TC 2007, goods on the highway.
Oh, you do know you'll be on YouTube later.
Don't give me permission to do so, sir.
That's okay, I don't need your permission. You're on public land. You saying I need permission?
You need my permission.
Ellen,
So I revoke you by the right.
just keep this pointed at them.
Oh, I can put it where I want.
You can film it, you can keep it on your computer for the rest of your life. That's fine.
Can you see?
Well, that'd be interesting. Thank you. That'll be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Ellen, give Kev a call.
You Google that, and I'm just going to give Kev a call.
Okay, to the doctor.
Right?
Okay.
Right, bye.
Take control of goods anywhere in England and Wales. And take control of any goods within the consent.
Of course, you do know that you're just being used by the government, basically.
stated that they've taken control of goods regulations rather than the actual TCE.
Hang on, I'll let you talk to him. Hang on a second, right, here's somebody that can tell you the law. Go on then. Can you tell him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Of course, we're taking
Hold on, Kev, the file's going by. Now you can go.
comes under the Taking Control of Goods Act. You cannot take any property that's on finance that doesn't belong to the alleged debtor, because that car that's on finance, there's already security on it from the creditor.
Right.
Who took the loan from.
What paragraph would that be, sir?
So you cannot take any car that's on HP.
And you're saying that's under the taking.
that.
You're saying that's under the taking control of goods regulations, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot take a car that doesn't belong to the alleged debtor when it's on HP. Same as you can't take a van if he's using it for tools for his work.
Tools of the trade. If he's a plumber, would mean plumbing equipment. I could take his van.
You can't say.
Right. So a painter and decorator needs his van to paint that house.
Don't use it to get the tools here.
To work, and that's why
His paintbrush isn't that fair enough.
I'm taking a van. If you carry on with what you're doing, these people that are there will fill in the ECA2 form.
ECA2 form.
Claiming against you because you're acting unlawfully and you have no jurisdiction.
And we'll be going after your bonds as well.
You are breaking the law. You are stealing a vehicle that doesn't belong to the debtor. Are you filming him, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep filming
Sorry?
Resolve? Did you say Resolve?
Pardon?
Who you work for?
ProServe.
ProServe.
ProServe. Are you licensed by the court?
Yes,
We are, yeah. We are certificated by the courts.
So if we look on the internet, we'll find a certificate for you both.
yes.
I can show it you right now if you like.
I would actually like to see, yeah.
Name and ID, look at his badge.
Got no badges.
Identification.
Somebody taking control of goods. This is all tribal. But it doesn't say anywhere under the taking control of goods regulations that finance
So
vehicles.
you've
are
not
exempt.
been able to show me the paperwork that you relied on.
Because I
Hang on a
don't
sec,
have the
Kev.
taking control of goods.
Have you got a phone?
I've
Can
got
you
a phone,
Google
yeah.
it?
Google the legislation.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That
can
would
do
be
that.
easier.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Right, can you hear you? It's simple. You cannot take a car that's on high HP because there's another party.
They can't hear you at the moment, Kev. The car's just gone by.
Doing 90 miles an hour.
To the alleged debtor, it belongs to the creditor and to the finance company.
Just ask him what he said.
Say it again.
Whereabouts are you?
We're stood next to him now.
Yeah, where are you? Oh, I think I know it. I think I know it, yeah. Anyway, you can't take a vehicle that doesn't belong to the alleged debtor.
Yeah, I know.
You cannot do that. So they're not. They should know this. This is
They do know it, Kev, but they're playing silly buggers. They're playing, we'll see if we can con them into giving us it over.
What's it for? The alleged. What's it over? And
Parking ticket.
Council.
Is it a council? Yeah, a council parking ticket.
No, you can't take a vehicle that's on HP that belongs to another creditor. You can't do that. It's basics in what you're doing for a job. It's basics, it says.
You guys know this shit. I'm surprised you're still trying to push it.
Anyway, we want to see some identification.
They're refusing to identify themselves.
Refusing to identify.
Oh, can you identify yourself, please?
I can say, yeah, but in a minute, okay. But
So you are refusing to
I'm not
identify
refusing,
yourself?
sir. I'm not refusing at all. But I've left the paperwork there with my name on it, so you can have my name there from that. But I'm not refusing to
I
show
want to see
you. I'll show you in a minute.
identification, please. That who you are, who you say you are, and where you was registered.
Where am I registered? Swansea County Court.
Which court?
Swansea County Court.
Swansea County Court. And your full name?
Alexander James Ward.
And your number?
Pardon?
Your registration number?
We're not police officers.
We're not.
sir.
Yeah, it's a general enforcement agent certificate. It doesn't have a number on it, sir, but there is a bailiff registers, as I'm sure you're well aware, and I'll be on there, sir.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah, but you cannot take a vehicle that's on HP. I promise you that. You cannot do that.
Colleague, just on the regs now, sir.
He's just checking it out on his phone.
Well, you should know this is basics. You can't take a vehicle.
Yeah, but they're just playing the game. They're playing the game. Push it as long as they can.
The same is to respect when I said before, if he was working in his van and his tools, you can't take it because he needs them for the trade. And he made a silly comment by, well, we'll take the tools out of the van and we'll take the van. Don't be silly. You still there?
Yeah, we're still here. He's still looking through the regs on his phone.
Comes with us taking control of goods.
Correct.
And that's what I'm on now.
Apparently that's what he's on now.
Still there?
Yeah, he's still looking through on his phone. To be fair, they've been quite reasonable so far.
Well, they're not allowed to take it.
Yeah, I know that. Huh? Oh. Hang on, just tell that to Willie.
I understand that. I understand.
And I'm just doing my bit for it,
I
yeah.
understand that. I found a little section here that says to goods of the debtor or another person, a reference to goods in which the debtor or that person has an interest. So she's got an interest in that vehicle. She's told us that she's got almost a year left on the finance.
So therefore it doesn't belong to her, still.
But there's still a proportion that she's got a bank interest in.
Right, do you want to say that again, Kev?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's illegal under paragraph 10 of Schedule 12 of the Tribunals, Courts and Enforcement Act 2007. Bailiffs cannot use the finance company's goods as collateral for your debt. And by doing so, the bailiff is committing an offence under Section 2 of the Fraud Act 2006.
So,
liability of redress exits under Section 4 and Section 5 of Torts Interference of Goods Act 1977. There you go.
Right, I've got here, paragraph 10, an enforcement agent may take control of goods only if they are goods of the debtor.
It's precisely.
Which is what you've just shown to me, told me, yeah?
You can only take the goods if they're in the hands of the debtor. That car that's on HP doesn't belong to where you are, the alleged debtor. It belongs to the finance company that loaned them the money. That's their security on the vehicle. You can't take it.
But I've also got here under paragraph. Give us a second. I've lost it. Where's that bit gone now?
Just trying to find it.
Yeah, I found it before. There's a paragraph here that says that she only has to have an interest. There's a paragraph here that says that she only has to have an interest in the goods.
That's if it's owned by her and a partner,
Yeah, but
not by another company.
If she, for example, it's just the same as your property. So if you take a property out on mortgage and you pay your loan on your mortgage, you pay half towards your interest, and then you pay another proportion of that goes towards your
That's
mortgage.
completely different.
I'm sorry there, but you have no idea about mortgages. Every mortgage in this country has been fraud.
That is totally different. A mortgage and a car.
It's the same.
Getting off the track. You can't take a vehicle that doesn't belong to the alleged debtor. It belongs to a finance company. It's the basics.
Also a vehicle with tools.
I'm telling you now, if you do it, sir, you're committing an offence and you can be liable.
And the fact you've been told that you'll be committing an offence.
Well, we've seen no proof of finance either. We've seen no proof whatsoever.
You're doing this job and doing this on the vulnerable people that's there
Just
that
hold that
can't
second.
afford money. We're here to help people that are vulnerable. We do our research and due diligence, and what we're saying to you two is you cannot take a vehicle that is on HP. It doesn't belong to the alleged debtor. The creditor is a finance company that loaned them the money as security. It's the basics of debt collecting. You should know this. You will be liable if
Have
you
we got
take it.
paperwork to confirm that it is on finance?
Me, I don't think so.
No. Do you want to ask her if she can get some?
I think that's what he's gone for.
I'll show this guy it's mind. I'll show this guy it's mind.
Just show it to the camera.
No, I won't be doing that. Only for copyright reasons.
So you copyrighted your name then?
No, people can copyright my name. It happens.
Hey, we know all about copyright, but just my name is copyrighted.
If they show them that the car's on HP, they should be on the way because they cannot take it.
Well, I know.
Simple. It's simple. Very simple.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Come on. Jeez.
You show that one?
Pardon?
You showed them that one, have you?
No, I haven't shown them that. No. I think it's in my other folder, to be fair. But you can't find me on the register.
Hang on, we're still here. Mark's just chatting at the minute to the lady.
That's my enforcement agent certificate.
Don't rain. Miserable
It's horrible. No. It's always, I don't know what it's like. It's always the same in Wales.
I don't
Don't need it for the...
No.
I know you wouldn't do it. Yeah, she's just looking for the document.
Is it like there's something all the time, is it?
Yeah. So we just talked about the weather in Wales. Not my favourite place, Wales.
Oh, get it.
I like Cardiff. Cardiff's a nice place.
Not so much the Wales. just
Only for the castle. In fact, the thing I found about Cardiff is there's no Welsh there.
No,
there
that's
isn't.
right.
I
That's,
do like that. I must admit, Kev, I do like the Weatherspoons in Cardiff.
Yeah, there's some nice ones. One that's used to be a theatre.
They've got one like
Do you
a
know,
theatre
I've
and
never
it's
been
lovely.
down to Cardiff, and I'm a Welshman.
that's on St Mary's Street, I think, the one that you're talking about.
Oh, it's lovely.
That
That
one
one
is
is.
like theatre, yeah.
It used to be a massive theatre, and
Waiting for it
they've
to
kept it as it
work.
is and just turned it into a pub.
And I'm getting wet. Yes. I don't know. I'm talking to the wrong person here. I'm just getting wet. Code, isn't it? Did you finish your decorating yet?
Not raining as bad as the last job.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing going on at the moment. There's a film out called The Great British Mortgage Swindle, where they've actually won a court case which proves every mortgage is fraud. And the reason it's fraud, have you got one?
That's people who live there.
I've got one, yeah.
I bet you £1 million that when you got your mortgage, they said fill it in but don't sign it. We'll sign it later. And it's probably too long for you to remember.
No. I think I filled it in through a broker. It was signed through a broker,
So
and then I had to do my will and.
well, you see, the reason that this act,
You can switch online, can't you? So you sign it with a button rather than actual signature.
well, the reason that normally, if you go through a bank, for instance, they'll say, yeah, fill out document, but don't sign it, is because then they get the solicitors sign it later, and that's fraud. Do you know why that's fraud?
Because the solicitors can't sign it.
Well, no, the solicitor can sign it, but he can only sign it saying that he's seen you sign it as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be a witness there.
Oh, no, it's not sign it, it's date it. Don't date it.
Right, okay. But if the solicitor's not there, how can you date it in front of him?
Exactly, which is why it's fraud.
Because of the dating.
Yeah, you see, it's a contract.
Yeah.
And a contract is only valid if it's witnessed and signed in front of both parties.
Right, yeah.
And this is all conveyancing solicitors, they're absolute crooks, because they always say, yeah, sign it, but don't date it. That was the part I meant to say. And because of that, it makes it an invalid contract. The guys that have been in court where they're trying to repossess the properties, the bank solicitor either hasn't turned up at all because he knows of the judgment.
Right.
And this applies to everyone. So if you've got it, you can get on this. If you look up Michael Benicia, he's got a website where he explains everything that's gone off. Because they took several properties of his worth over 2 million and they've had to give them all back because of this ruling. So it is, and it also means that every single mortgage is null and void.
Non-existence.
Well, the reason for it though is, well, aside from that, which is really going to...
Have you done a check on the vehicle to see it's on HP?
We haven't got that facility as of yet, because obviously our office is closed at the moment, so we've got paperwork.
Well, you can't find it in a minute, so...
It's my phone, isn't it? Yeah,
Want to run a HPI through on your phone? That's something you can do.
I haven't got a HPI on it.
so the other reason that all mortgages are fraud, when you go... I used to run a website, you may have heard of it, called Get Out of Debt Free.
I think I have it.
Well, I used to run that until it got sold to a company that I didn't get on with. And the research I did proved that what you do is, if you go to a bank for a loan, right, you fill out the agreement, don't you? Notice it's an agreement. And you put the amount in numbers, the amount in words, and then you sign it. Have you got any paper cash on you?
Yeah.
Take it out and look what it says underneath the Bank of England.
It's a signature, isn't it?
No. It's something that most people don't see, because that's why they make it so small.
I promise to pay.
The bearer.
It is, yeah, the bearer.
On demand, the sum of
The sum of
whatever it is.
£20.
So that is a promissory note.
Right.
Now, as I said, it's got the amount in numbers, the amount in words, and it's got the bloke that's whoever it was at the Bank of England signed it. When you go to a bank and you fill out a loan agreement, it's got the amount in numbers, the amount in words, and then you sign it. So you know what you've just done? You've created a promissory note, which the bank then pretends to lend you the money that you just created. Because you know what they do with that promissory note or agreement, if you want to call it that? They then securitise it. They sell it to other banks, because other banks know that they're going to get the amount back plus interest.
Right.
So, if you created the money, why do you have to pay it back plus interest? The answer is you don't. On top of that, we were all, including myself, because I didn't know this shit back then, we were all sold into slavery, and that's because of the Sescovy Act of 1666. And you might think, the Sescovy Act of 1666, you know why 1666 is, you should know something about 1666? If you did any history.
I've heard of Tan 6.
Yeah, Tan 66.
No, 1666 was the Great Fire of London.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And while the deliberate fire was set, and it burnt out the square mile of London where all the banks and everything is, Parliament introduced an act called the Sescovy Act, which said you have 7 years to fill in the correct paperwork to prove you're alive. Otherwise, after them 7 years, you're classed as dead and lost to the seas.
Okay.
Now, this is if you look at your driver's license, bank card, anything like that, it'll be in all capital letters, or just the first few capital.
Yeah.
And that's, again, goes back to Latin, capitis diminutio, which is maximum loss of status. So your name in all capitals means you are the lowest of the low. Because you did, oh, by the way, they never told anybody that they had to fill in the paperwork to prove they were alive. Yeah. This is why when you go to court, and I don't know if you've been or not, but they say, all rise, and they're raising the dead, because the person going into court is classed as a dead legal fiction. Yeah, wait, hang on, yeah, I can hear you now. You was in my pocket.
Ask her what court you were in court.
What court was you in for the...
No, what colour do they wear?
Oh yeah, well, I was coming to that if you hadn't jumped in.
What?
And that,
I dressed
black,
up like this.
because what happens when you go to a funeral? What do you dress in?
Yeah, I suppose. What?
There's a lot of shit going on that most don't know about.
Police dress up in black, we dress up in black.
And the reason it's in court is because, like I say, you see, the problem is that your shit will come out and he'll call your name, Joe Smith, and you think he's calling you. He's not calling you, he's calling your legal fiction, or it's also known as your straw man, which you then say, yeah, that's me, because it's got the same name as you, except his was in all capitals. So they're scamming you into court so that you then go and represent your corporation. Because a court, which is a corporation, cannot do business with a flesh and blood living man. Now you might think you're a flesh and blood living man, but in the court's eyes, you're a dead legal fiction. And we've had people win knowing this sort of stuff.
I can imagine. Honestly.
I don't think obviously what happens with court and money and things like that.
You see, I'll tell you why it works. It's because, I mean, you lot, I don't know what time you started this morning.
Hey Mark,
Yeah?
it's 9 o'clock, it's 12 minutes past 9, we can only wait till 9, so we've got to...
Well, because you started at that time and you're going to work to this till whenever, you haven't got time to do any research and find this stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's why
we just get taught and what we're told to be taught on.
Yeah. And here's something else that you won't know, but you will recall when you were at school. You were told to fill in your name and address here, weren't you?
Yeah.
But you were told to sign over that side, weren't you?
Yeah, the bottom on the left-hand side.
Do you know that document has two sides? Obviously a left and right, but it also has a debtor and a creditor side. The creditor side is this side where you put your name and address. The debtor side is that side where they get you to sign.
Right.
This is why whenever I sign any document, I sign it over on the right hand side, because we are the only credit. Without us, everything stops.
Yeah.
He probably thinks we're mad.
Yeah. nothing there. She confirms it's on finance.
I thought you guys would at least have that. That should have gone quick.
You know, Mark. Mark.
We're not paying £15 for a HPI check.
I thought it was only like 2 or 3 quid.
No, 15 quid.
Well, it only used to be 2 or 3 quid, I'm sure it did.
No, you used to get it. You are right there, you do get it for £2-3, but it just gives you the basic information of the vehicle. So if you want to add finance onto it, it charges you another £5.
Okay.
But before you get to the finance stage, it asks if you want to check if it's stolen first, and that's £3.
Yeah.
And then once you check that it's stolen, it then goes to the finance, and then they want an extra £5.
Everyone robs us.
Life, innit?
Did you know that the council, your council, my council, is a corporation?
And they just burnt up my council tax.
Yeah, mine too, to be fair.
Well, I've actually got a video where I explain exactly how council tax, how they do it. It's unlawful what they do.
Yeah.
The councils issue their own liability orders. They issue their own...
They do.
The
magistrates, yeah.
Yeah, well, they issue their own...
They do.
The
magistrates, yeah.
Yeah, well, they issue their own...
They do.
The
magistrates, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is where the scam comes, because you think because it's in a magistrate's court, you think it
in
must
their
be...
own room, their own council room, isn't it?
Exactly.
Room.
Yes, yes.
Who knows, you see, who knows?
He's impressed by you knowing that. Yeah.
Who knows this, you see?
Trust me, I do know a lot.
So yeah, it's well, I'm glad you know that, but there is a video of me explaining everything about it, which I did about 8 years ago on YouTube, and it's shocking when you realise that the councils are corporations, and this comes back to what I was saying earlier about when you're registered at birth, your parents register you as a corporation.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not quite a corporation. It's, say you were Joe Smith. It's the Joe Smith estate, which is to do with trusts.
Yeah.
But they omit the estate part because they didn't want us figuring out it was all a trust.
Right.
Anyway, what's happening with the car?
What are we doing?
Mark.
You're not going back to Wales tonight. I'm going to say. Yeah, you'll get there for about 1.
We're off to London.
No.
Do they come from Wales?
Well, they're registered in Wales, but they're off back to London.
Down to London. Coventry, man. No, this is our last job here. Figure that
She's got it. I don't think she can find
Has
it.
she got bank statement just to show a finance payment coming out of her account or something? Just
I'll-
something that we can
I'll
look at.
I'll get that. Well, I've asked him to ask her, and I guess we'll see if anything happens or not. But I'm very interested that he actually knew some of this stuff. Yeah. Very interested.
Mark.
Yeah.
On a serious note, you know, we're serious in what we do. The times that we can't take a vehicle is if the vehicle belongs to a disabled person with a disabled badge, if the workman uses it for the tools of the trade, if it's on HP, I think they're the only main 3 ones where you can't take a vehicle. Yeah. And if the vehicle's an asset of a trust, you can't take the vehicle either. They're the 4 main things. Can you hear me still?
I don't know, Mike. But these are about to go, by the way. Yeah, but then they're just going to add charges and stuff like that. No. I told you what happens is they'll try twice more. And
can you hear me alright?
I can.
Yeah, what's happening now? What made them sort of realise then about HP that they can't take the vehicle and that they said they could? Why they've changed the tone?
They're about to go, but Yeah, but she doesn't want me coming back.
And adding stuff on.
He won't come back because
It says on that letter.
the cars didn't belong to her.
I told you what happened.
Yeah, they got a letter to say they can remove my car. Have they got a letter?
If you get a statement, even if you go from the computer and print one off now, if it shows a payment to the finance company, they will not just leave, they will even not come back. They can't take it.
No. 1 minute.
Don't look. She's going to look. She's going to look for a statement.
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's happening now?
She's gone to look to see if she can find a statement, or I've suggested if she can get, if she's got internet online, she could print one off.
Right, to prove that she's paying on HP?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why do they want to know this now when they thought they could take the vehicle in the first place on HP?
Look, we both know they were playing the game. They played the game, we played the game. We know what it's about. This is just proof.
No.
And I've got a big grin from one of the guys who knows exactly what I'm talking about. So
you knew you were right anyway?
And if she's got the evidence, then that's it. That's game over.
Yeah, game over. Show the thing, let's go.
Yeah.
She's not paying anything, is she?
I won't put that in my pocket. I get loads of pains.
Is she a relative of yours?
No. I just come out and help anyone that doesn't know what's going on. And I know it's to your detriment, but
we just get a call out. That's what happens.
It's the number one. It's a numbers game, isn't it?
I mean, we only live up the road about 3 miles, so it's no big deal.
Like listening to what you had to say to me about the mortgages and stuff like that.
Well, like I say, look up Michael Abinicia. Look up, because he's got a website, but I can't think what the website is. And if you've got a mortgage, they're doing it's the British version of a class action, American class action, where a load of people get together and they're suing the banks. And the banks are going to go down over this because they've all committed fraud. And a lot of solicitors are going to get locked up as well.
What happens then? They get given their houses mortgage free?
Yes, and compensation.
It's called redemption.
Someone commits fraud against you, you're entitled to all your money back. So think that as well. So whatever you paid so far, you're entitled to that all back, plus
interest.
It's going to
interest.
Banks. Every single bank is guilty of it, and building society.
I'll look into it.
Michael Abinicia, or do you know?
Yeah, and it's called Michael Benicia, and it's the Great British Mortgage Swindle.
If you just search the Great British Mortgage Swindle, you'll find a website where it tells you about his court case that they won, which created case law, and since then the banks.
There's case law on it.
That's it. It's game over.
Because what happens, if you can hear me?
In the rest can't.
No.
Can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah.
What happens is when you sign what you think a mortgage agreement, they'll say to you at the bank, just sign there, sir, but don't date it, just sign there, so you'll sign it, we'll shake your hands and we'll walk out. For that time being, for the first probably 2 or 3 days, you actually own that property outright.
Okay, hang on, go back a sentence because he didn't quite catch it.
Which will go to the bank and you back to sign your mortgage agreement. They'll say, just sign this, don't date it, that's alright, just sign. So you'll sign it, we'll shake your hand, and then you'll leave. For that time only, for probably the first couple of days, you actually own that property outright, full title, rights and interest. What happens is the solicitor facilitates the fraud and signs that mortgage agreement probably 2 days later, not on the day. It's not binding, it's not a contract. It's the solicitor that commits the fraud.
I think she's got it.
You can't have the
He's got it.
for 2 people either.
So he knows then. He knows we know what we're on about.
So if me and you had a contract now, there has to be 2 witnesses, one for you and one for me, doesn't there?
And it has to be the 2 minds coming together.
See, but like I was saying to you about the bank where you create the loan, where you actually create that amount that they pretend to loan you. And what he's saying there, basically what I was saying, when you sign it, you actually own it, because what they do then is, because they get you to sign the agreement, a mortgage agreement, but then they get you to sign a contract where you promise to use the house as surety for the loan. Now, why do you think they use an agreement for one and a contract for the other? Because an agreement,
And also,
they don't have to tell you what they're up to. But the contract,
and also,
because when you sign it, you actually own that property outright, free of any debt whatsoever.
and the other thing is, Mark, they actually hide a hidden power of attorney within the mortgage agreement, so they can do what the hell they like. That's called the hidden power of attorney. That's in all mortgage agreements. It's all fraud, mate. All fraud. Everything.
Got too much outstanding on the house as well, mate.
No, you've got nothing outstanding. But more importantly, say that you were just Joe Bloggs and you didn't know all this stuff. What you need to do is put your house into a trust, a private trust, because anything you've paid up to this point is protected by your trust. So if say you have a...
Say if it's cards in a trust. Say if it's cards in a trust. Yeah? Mark?
Yeah. So, go on then, you say it.
Say if this car is in a trust and it's managed by the trustees because the title is owned by the trustees, you couldn't take that vehicle today because it's an asset of a trust.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't take it.
And there's my finance. That's last month.
Can you just click on it for us? PSA Finance UK. Okay. Can I take the reference off that just so that we can put it to our office, because they can just confirm that? Can you take a note of the reference on the case for us?
I haven't got literally no money. If they want to make a payment
1805.
arrangement...
Sorry. God, no.
Yeah, I know, but I ain't got no money, that's what I'm saying. It's my ex that did it.
Can you hear me, anybody?
Yeah.
What's paying? What are you paying?
No, she's not paying. She's showing him...
11p.
Don't pay any money.
Listen to me, will you? She's showing him her bank details off her phone so that it proves that it's on HP.
Yeah, and make sure it's secure and data protection as well. If they're taking an image picture of it.
I've literally just got out of hospital. I've had pictures. I've had 5 needles in my mouth, right? I pulled up and I've got this. I'm supposed to take medication. I'm not absolutely killing. Got me in and I just really can't be dealing with it. It's absolute agony.
Mark? Mark?
That's what we've done then.
Send me another letter or whatever because I'll have
They're done. They're finished. They're going.
If she wants to set a payment plan, you're going to tell her not to because it's the council.
It's almost like you know what's going on. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for upholding and being a gentleman. Yeah.
Alright, thanks a lot, guys. Cheers then.
Game over?
Yeah, game over.